Hello children, welcome back to my channel. As discussed or as promised yesterday in the previous video, what we are going to do today is that we are going to first discuss about special cases of the equation of range that we found in the last video. If you haven't seen the last video, the description to the video and my entire playlist is given in the links are given in the description below. You may please refer to that. Now, range of a projectile which is projected at a initial speed or velocity of u, making an angle theta with the horizontal, is given by this equation. Now, in the case where theta equal to 45 degree, we get that sine of theta, that is sine of twice theta, that is sine 45 into 2, that is 90 degree, is equal to 1, which is the maximum value of sine theta. So for a given projection speed, and the projectile will have the maximum range r max when the angle of projection is 45 degree, and the r max will be given by u square by g. Fine. Now, for the next case, let us say an object is projected with the speed u and at an angle theta. That is to say, let us say this is the x-axis and say this is the y-axis, and the object is projected with a speed, say this u, making an angle theta. Then its trajectory will be parabolic, of course, right? So it will have a parabolic path and it will end up at some point. And the range will be given by this equation. Now, what if we have is 1, 2. What if we have theta equals to 90 degree minus theta? That is, what if the angle of projection now becomes complementary to the angular projection that we had initially. In that case, sine twice theta will be equal to sine of 2 into 90 degree minus theta. This is sine 180 degree minus theta. But sine 180 degree minus, sorry, not theta, twice theta. Sine 180 degree minus theta or any angle will be simply that angle itself, that is equal to sine of twice theta. That means the range for an object or a projectile that is launched at an angle complementary to the initial angle, then r dash will be equal to, simply be equal to r. That is to say, if instead of theta, if it is projected at this angle, where this angle of projection is 90 degree minus theta, then also the projectile will have the same range as the previous one. That is to say, it will now take a parabolic path. It will reach a higher maximum height, but it will still come back and meet at the same points. That is, the range is going to be identical to the case where it was projected with an angle theta. Okay, now let us consider another special case where instead the angle theta, that is the angle of projection theta, is equal to 0 degree. What it means is that it is projected parallel to the x-axis or horizon in a direction, in the horizontal direction. What will happen in that case? If an object is projected along the x-axis, then it's with a velocity u, then its x component will be u cos 0, because the angle theta, that is u cos 0. Since theta is 0 here, or that is to say ux will be equal to u. And for the vertical component uy, it will simply be u sin 0 or that will be equal to 0. So in this case ux will be equal to u and uy equal to 0. At the same time, what we also need to know is that once the object is projected, it will move under the influence of gravity and it will have an acceleration equal to acceleration due to gravity, and it will be always acting vertically downwards. Okay, so what is going to be the trajectory of this particular projectile? Let us say it moves, and it will move, of course, under gravity, its downward velocity will keep on increasing, right? So at any point P during the flight, what is going to be its trajectory, or say at point P its position is given by x and y. So we have to find an equation for the trajectory. Now for the point P, what is the distance traveled along the x-axis? Say this is the y-axis, of course, and this is the x-axis. So what is the distance traveled along the x direction? It will simply be equal to x will be equal to ux into the time taken. Let's call this t. That is u into t, since ux equals to u. Or in other words, we can say that the time taken to reach the point x or point P will be given by t equal to x by u. Let's call this equation number 1. Now for the displacement along the y-axis, the distance from here to point P, this distance, this will be given by y equal to uy t plus, now since the object is moving downwards, there was no initial acceleration in the y direction, no upward acceleration, so in this case uy will be equal to 0, or that is the first term will be 0, and under gravity the object will keep on moving downwards if we consider only the y component. So we are left with ut plus half g t squared. If we substitute the value of t here and the value of u here from this and equation number 1, we get this equals to 0 plus half g x squared by u squared using equation number 1, and that is we have y equal to some constant into x squared, constant k equals g by 2u squared. Now this equation y equal to kx squared is again the equation of a parabola. Which means even if the object is projected horizontally, the path followed by it will still be parabolic. Okay. Now let us assume that at the point of release, the object was at a height of h. Fine. In that case, if we consider a y motion, initial velocity is 0, and then it accelerates under gravity and reaches the ground level, and that is at this particular point. However, in the y direction, it has moved through a height of h. So this height can be given by s is equal to ut plus half at square, h is equal to ut plus half gt square, right? So ut, since uy is 0, so 0 plus half g, let's call this tf. Why tf? Because from here to here, whatever time takes is equal to the time of flight, because it would have, once it reaches the axis, the flight of the projectile ends. So time of flight of the projectile is given by this. Therefore, what we have, t equals to Cross multiplication will give 2h by g. Whole thing under square root. This is another important equation. And if TF is given by this, what is the range? That is, what is this horizontal distance the projectile will travel before it reaches the ground? R will be given by simply ux into time of flight. But what was ux? Ux was u. So it will be u, and time of flight is given by this square root of 2h upon g. So range of a projectile which is released horizontally at some height will be given by this equation, this expression, right? Now, if we move further and consider a velocity at point P, this velocity, let's call this V, and it will make an angle of say beta with the x direction downwards. So this velocity V will have two components. One is Vx, the other one is Vy. Now what are going to be the values of Vx and Vy? Vx, since there is no acceleration in the x direction or in the horizontal direction, will simply be equal to the velocity speed of projection, that is ux, or equal to u. For Vy, since it's the motion under gravity with initial speed equal to 0, so it will be v equal to u plus at, or uy plus at for 0 plus a, here is g, and then t is the time taken for the object to reach point P. Therefore, the velocity, magnitude of the velocity at point P will be given by u square plus g square t square, whole thing under root, since v equal to square root of vx square plus vy square. And also tan of beta will be given by Vy by Vx, which will be Gt by U. Or in other words, beta can be given as tan inverse of Gt by U. Now this special case that we have discussed has a name, and many books discuss it as a different case from the original projectile where the object was thrown at an angle of theta. The first case was known as inclined projectile, and this is known as horizontal projectile. Why horizontally? Because it is thrown horizontally. There is one third type of projectile also, which is known as the vertical projectile, where theta equals to 90 degree. That is to say, the angle of projection is vertically upwards. If it is so, then this is simply the case of motion under gravity in a straight line. It moves upwards and then it comes downwards under gravity. So we will not discuss this because we have already discussed this case when an object is thrown with certain velocity upwards and what happens. Its equations of kinematics are discussed in motion in a straight line already. Okay, let us try to tackle a couple of problems now. The first problem, it states that there are two tall buildings separated by a distance of 180 meters, and there is a window in the first building at a height of 55 meters. An object is thrown with certain velocity u from this window towards the second building, and it just enters a window in the second building which is at a height of 10.9 meters. We are supposed to find the speed or the velocity with which the object must be projected. To solve this, first we need to notice is that since the distance between this is 180 meters and also the difference of height between the two buildings, this, let's say, is y. Okay, now the object must be thrown such that the time it takes to move through this height y, or this travel through this height y in the along the vertical direction, the time taken for this particular motion must be equal to the time taken by the object to traverse 180 meter in the horizontal direction. Then only the object will be able to enter it. If it moves faster, that is to say the time taken to travel the distance y is shorter than the time taken to travel the distance 180 meters, then the object would have gone downwards and it would have missed or hit the building at a point lower than the window, or maybe it would have fallen to ground before it reaches the other building. And if the time taken for traveling this distance is longer than the time taken to travel through 180 meters between the two buildings, then the object would have hit the building at a point higher than the window. So we need to find the time such that this distance traveled, by the time it travels this distance, it would have traveled the distance 180 meter in the horizontal direction. Now, first we need to find, to solve this, we need to find first is that what is the distance y, or what is the height y. Now y is simply the difference of height between the first window and the second window. So this is simply 55 meters minus 10.9 meters, which will be 44.1 meters. Am I right? Or am I right? Right. So this is 44.1 meter. Now, since the object is thrown in the horizontal direction, so there is no initial vertical velocity. So the time taken to travel through this distance y, that is 44.1 meter, can be found by using this equation y equal to ut, that is 0 into the time taken to travel this distance, plus half motion under gravity g t square. Therefore t square will be equal to 2y by g. If you substitute the value 2y, that is 88.2, 2 into 44.1 meter divided by g will be 9.8. So what is going to be the result? This turns out to be equal to 9. That is to say, t square must be equal to 9, or t must be equal to plus minus 3 seconds. Negative doesn't make any sense, so negative time doesn't make any sense to us, so what we'll have, t equals to 3 seconds. So the object will take 3 seconds to fall through this distance in the vertical direction. So we must have that during this time t, the object must have traveled 180 meters in the horizontal direction. Now in the horizontal direction, we know that there is no acceleration, so it's a case of a uniform motion. Now horizontal distance traveled x must be equal to ux into the time taken, right? Therefore x is 180 degree must be equal to ux, that is u, because it's a projection in the horizontal direction only, so the horizontal component will be equal to the speed of projection into 3. Therefore u is equal to 60 meter per second. Right? Now for the next problem. You are given that a projectile is thrown with certain initial velocity at an angle theta with the horizontal. Okay. Now we have a right angle triangle O, P and Q such that the object starts at the first apex or first point at the origin, and the triangle starts at O also. So the object starts at the first point of the triangle, it goes through its trajectory, or it moves, it just misses or just touches the triangle at point P, and then it ends up at point Q. So it touches all the three apex of the triangle. You are to show that tangent of theta is equal to tangent of alpha plus tangent of beta. Tan theta equals to tan alpha plus tan beta. Okay, to do this, first let's drop a perpendicular from here to the OQ. Let's call this point say S. And let's say the position P, its height is X. Oh, sorry, not X, it will be Y direction, so we call it Y. So this length OS will be given by say X. And then the length SQ will be the range of the projectile minus X. Fine? Alright. Now what is tan alpha plus tan beta? Let's say right hand side, tan alpha plus tan beta. From the geometry of the problem, we can see that tan alpha is perpendicular by hypotenuse. Oh, sorry, perpendicular by base. Hypotenuse was sine. So PS by OS. Now PS is given by tan alpha, PS is Y, and OS is X. And tan beta from delta PSQ, we have tan beta equals to Y by R minus X, which is equal to X into R minus X, Rx into Y, R minus X into Y, so Ry minus XY plus X into Y, so XY. These two will cancel each other, so we are left with Y by X, R by R minus X. This will be our equation 1. Okay. Now, if you remember the equation of trajectory, in the last video I have already discussed about the equation of trajectory and derived the equation. If you haven't seen, please refer to the video. The link is given in the description below. Now, the equation of trajectory of an inclined projectile thrown with an initial velocity u and at an angle theta with the horizontal was given by y equal to x tan theta, theta being the angle of projection, plus half minus half g x square by u square cos square theta, x square by u square cos square theta. If we take x tan theta common here, why we have taken x tan theta common? Because our ultimate goal here is to find the value of x, the value of tan theta, because we have to prove tan theta equals to something, that is tan alpha plus tan beta. So let's first try to find the value of tan theta and see how it works out. If we take tan theta common, we get 1 minus x tan theta common, sorry, g into x, 1x is taken outside already, divided by 2u square cos square theta into tan theta. Clear? Now let's consider this term in the denominator. Let's take it here. This equals to 2u square cos square theta. Up till now, this is fine. Then we have tan theta, that is sin theta divided by cos theta. So one of the cosine terms will cancel out, so we are left with 2u square cos theta sin theta, or 2 sin theta cos theta, which is equal to u square sin twice theta. So we can substitute the value here. and we are left with x tan theta into 1 minus gx by u square sine twice theta. But we know that this term g by u square sine twice theta gives us the range of the inclined projectile. So we have x tan theta into 1 minus x by r, or we can rewrite it as x tan theta into r minus x by r. So what we have found, let's bring it here. Y equals to x tan theta into r minus x by r. Doing cross multiplication, we will have tan theta equals to y by x, and this goes to the other side, so it will get inverted, r by r minus x. Now if you look at equation number 1, this term y by x into r by r minus x gives us tan alpha plus tan beta. So using equation 1 and 2, therefore 1 and 2, we can simply say that tan theta must be equal to tan alpha plus tan beta. Okay, right. So we come to an end of this video. In the next video we will be talking about rotational motion, which will probably come in a couple of days time, because we'll be on a break during the festival season. In the meantime, please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you find this analysis that we are doing here useful. And also I would like to request you to share it with your friends so that they also can get benefited from the content of this video. Thank you.